Hey everybody, sorry for being late. Babe, can we turn off that TV? Uh, I'd like to say to the two fallen officers in Gilchrist County, thank you. Sorry that your life was cut short. Um, that's the only thing I'm going to say tonight on that. So let's go ahead and start this up if anybody's viewing. Pretty sure the only one on here is my wife. You turn this thing up.
Uriah was playing with it earlier.
Well, hey, we got a viewer. I don't know who it is. But hello and goodbye, I guess. Looks like they just went away too. This is going to be a pretty boring one if nobody shows up and even put a thing up an hour ahead of time.
Well,
It might be a slow night.
why don't you stop talking? Let's do something.
Oh, I'm just going to stand here a minute. What to talk about is dead air. Ain't nobody on. So, just give them a minute. You know, I'm not exactly at 8 o'clock, so they probably thought I'm off doing something else. What time is it actually?
8:22.
Yeah, you see, I'm 20 minutes late. I've been on for 3, now almost 4 minutes.
When are you ever on time?
When I don't have kids to put to bed. Maybe I ought to set the live from the layout back an hour.
Yeah, I told you that when you first set up the time.
Yeah, but then everybody on the East Coast kind of gets late for them. So, I mean, that'd be starting at 10 o'clock. Right now, I'm starting at 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 o'clock our time.
Well, when they get on, let's ask them.
Oh, see, they're supposed to be on top of the daggone fish tank already.
What?
I wanted to take all the cars that I wasn't running on this layout and put them on top of the fish tank, and I forgot to check these two drawers.
Why don't you go get my chassis?
Go get your chassis. It's hot as hell back here, but the vent's been covered. Had a ride home. Zach,
Oh,
before he calls me again, I can't go pick him up for another hour.
hey. Nick's alive. He can't answer his phone. Nick's live on his YouTube. He can't answer his phone.
I also can't go pick him up for another hour.
Well, he can't pick you up for an hour because he's on YouTube. Okay.
Is he gonna be fine out there for another hour?
He said, when you get done.
Okay.
Where's he at?
At his mom's. He changed his mind on going to get his girlfriend and decided he was going to go stay with his mom for a little while.
Kind of figured they would be there, my cousin and her boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry, her husband, or at the funeral today.
Okay. I'm about to run out there and grab my tea anyways. So I'll run out and grab your chassis unit at the same time I run to grab my tea. I might have to re-clean this track again. I've got an idea what I'm going to do though. Wait for them next couple loops around now. Hey, BNSF Bob.
Oh, is that somebody?
I do believe I do have a video of the whole layout somewhere back here. I think I did a year update video in January, around January 1st. Go ahead and check that out. I haven't been really able to spend too much time on it, so some of the stuff that should be done is not done. But it's a slow work in progress. And bear with me, I'm going to be right back. I got to grab me a drink. And then I'm going to do a little bit of switching. Or shunting, whichever way you want to call it.
You gotta check up on your little,
What?
not turnout, whatever they're called.
I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
The train is gonna slow down.
Oh yeah, it's making bad contact across this road. Frog
Come
nice and
the other
black.
way.
What?
The other way.
What?
Can't see it that way.
Well, no, you can't see it that way right now. I'm going to do some switching, and then we're going to talk about size differences. I figure it's be alright for tonight.
Well, it needs wheels, so that's a little bit still short.
Yeah. my Rick's picks.
What should you put frog on it?
What?
Frog snot?
No, ain't no frog snot on these this time. I haven't cleaned this track in 6 months because I've had that CRC on it, remember? So, a lot of times, I ain't had a problem. And of course, how you like that Murphy's Law? I go live and this clean track just all of a sudden wants to act like it's dirty. I should be able to pick up past that. Alright, I'll 050 that, but I lost my attention. Alright, I'm just going to put some cars away in the Industries. If anybody has any questions or anything else, the wife's back here to read them off to me. I am going to need you to read them off to me while I'm doing this.
Oh, I'm just going to sit here and let you play. Of course I read them. I don't think anybody's on.
It says there's 3 people on there.
Hello, anybody got any questions? I'm here.
Well, she thinks she can help. You speak up a little bit, you can actually hear on my end what you're saying.
Nobody wants to hear me talk.
Well, nobody wants to look at me either.
Nobody's here for me. They're here for you.
Set that into the lead. And I'll shove it back. There's one thing I do like about these knuckle couplers. I can set them into the blade in a spot that's hard to reach and just shove it right on back into a hole.
No,
What?
nothing.
Crap. There we go. There we go. Now it's in delayed.
Should we get that? Yeah, I think I might have put it on here for people to see.
No, I'm not going to disturb him. I just put him to bed.
He's a bed, not asleep.
Let's just leave sleeping dogs lie at the moment.
Okay. Do you model a Pacific Railroad or Time Era? Both.
I do a time, but my railroad is prototype freelanced. Even though I'm running in the mid 80s, right around 1985, which is the year I was born, the equipment and all is modeled for the Maryland Central. The Maryland Central went bankrupt in 1841. 1861, sorry. And they folded, but I just run my layout the way I want to run my layout, and I start from that railroad, and I just act like it made it through, and I've built a back history to it to make it seem like it made it through without folding.
would be great seeing it. Put his locomotive up there.
No, I'm not getting something that big. The caboose is fine. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm pretty sure my arm and hand is not what you want to see. Hey, I got a like for a change on a live video. I got two of them. Of course, I've only got enough room in the switchback to do one car at a time. I've got two cars to spot.
Okay, BNS Bob. My model BNF SF and N scale probably going to be a freelance railroad, and I model CNSX chassis in an HO scale. Haven't built a layout, but I do belong to two clubs.
Oh, that's right. BNSF Bob, if you want to get a hold of me on Facebook Messenger, I still remember that you wanted a layout designed. I do a lot of layout planning for friends of mine. I don't mind doing a layout plan for you as well. Come on. Get your butt back in there. Sorry about that, everybody. I have not cleaned this track in 6 months. So, the only thing I've done is clean a little bit of wheel sets here and there.
Copy.
There we go. I'll off spot this behind the gas station. I've got no off spots for the feed mill, but the feed mill's supposed to be taking 3 or 4 cars a day. That's overspeed. I need to fix that coupler. Pull up in here and get those train orders, I guess.
Okay, my end scale is going to be a 2-level style layout around the walls with either 2
Helixes.
helixes or 1 helixes, and run around at the other end of the 2 levels.
I just designed a 3-level 2 helix layout for a 10 by 14 foot shed for Southern 207. He really seemed to like it. If you want to do helixes, I have no problem planning helixes. I have stayed away from my entire modeling life, but I'm going to be attempting one on my next layout.
Is this town modeled after any town Pacific?
No, this is a generic town, anywhere from the hills of Western Maryland to any place you could actually think of. If I wanted to, I could rip all this greenery up and turn this into a desert layout. Scenery can be changed. Buildings from the 1930s on up, you know, buildings stick around years. They don't just there and then gone. Buildings are usually there for decades. But you can add modern add-ons to make your buildings seem like they've been there forever and just expanded with use. The wife's about that. Somebody keeps calling my phone and it's driving me about bonkers.
Bob said I grew up with chassis in West Virginia.
Yeah, I grew up in Westminster, Maryland. So, not too far away from West Virginia, not too far away from Virginia. And I grew up with the main line of the Maryland Midland Railroad being right outside my bedroom window. So, yeah, I pretty much been around within 100 yards of trains for a good chunk of my life. And I've actually been on trains. I worked for the Maryland Midland Railroad for 3 years. The wife wants me to talk about what I've got sitting on the layout right now. This is her little caboose. And when I say little, it's the same NE5 as this N-scale. Alright, it's actually only a couple of numbers off. This was originally 1827 of the Western Maryland, but I've changed it to the Maryland Central number 10. And this one here's the Western Maryland 1872 in Chassis Systems paint as well. Why is this so much bigger than this one? Anybody tell me? Besides you. But tell me who tells me.
It was made that way.
Yeah, it was made that way. Oh, by the way, I also need to do a shout out to Jennifer White.
One is in scale.
Bob got it right. I also need to do a shout out to Jennifer White. Today is her birthday. If anybody knows her, go ahead and tell her happy birthday. And tell her I said to tell her that.
Randy Rock says, and Lowell says HO and N.
Yes, this is 187. This is HO scale. This is N scale. Oh! Well, good evening, Vinny.
Hi, Vinny. Hi, Vinny.
That caught me by surprise. I'm not used to seeing him come to my live. So, can anybody guess with this what my venture is for the family?
I know. You should go get the other locomotive.
Oh, is Rodney in here too? Hot Rod Rodney? Or...
Not that I've seen it.
Well, Vinny, you're kind of stuck by yourself with that. You ain't got a Mrs. Vinny around to cook you one for you. But I'm building the wife and kids an HO scale layout because Chessie Systems equipment is a lot easier to get my hands on an HO scale than it is an N scale. So,
plus, if you go back and see a
I'm not going to be fighting looking.
Earlier in this week, you get to see why we actually are going HO.
Yeah, 12 sections of Flex-Trek, and I might have some leftover turnouts to sell. I'm going to be building the Cactus Valley from Model Railroader. I think it was in 92. So I'm going to build that for the family with an extra track going out at the bottom, so that way everybody can have a cassette to themselves, which will be 3 foot long and 2 tracks wide. So everybody in the family gets to have their own train, which they can run on the layout, that'll go in and out of that little staging cassette. And they get to keep the cassette in their rooms on a shelf.
Daddy just got to get me my taxi.
Yeah.
And I want it in all 3 colors.
All 3 colors?
There's 3 different colors.
You better find them. That's you and the kids' layout. You guys can do whatever you want with it. Okay?
The third one's going to be really hard to find.
What's that, the gold one?
Yeah.
The gold one's the easiest one to find.
Not the yellow one.
The gold one. The 50-year anniversary gold one.
I want the black one, the yellow one, and the gold one.
GM's 50th anniversary Chessie Systems locomotive I can find every single day of the week, and that's the gold one.
I ain't found one.
You ain't been looking at the right spots. Oh, Randy's Rock and Roll Railroad. Sorry, I've already told him to stop calling, and he's still calling, and it's driving me nuts. Babe, can you do me a favor? Call him real quick, so I'll just pay attention to this thing.
Yep.
Tell him I've got a half an hour left. Sorry, it's getting annoying. And he's probably going to call back before the wife even calls him.
Hey.
Sorry, dinner tonight. I didn't feel like cooking.
Kind of busy right now at work. I told you when he got done he'd be able to do it, but he's on live chat right now on YouTube.
Yeah, I need him to stop calling my phone.
In like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah. Sorry. Neighbor's kid went to go over to his mother's earlier, and I told him I'd give him a ride home, but not to call him between 8 and 9 o'clock because I'd be on this. And when does he want to call? Even after he told me he already had a ride home. So.
We're back. I'm coming back, everybody.
Oh, it's alright. I've been trying to pay attention.
That's a...
The wife will catch me up. I've been meaning to pay attention, but I've been trying to explain that.
Same old, Vinny says. That's a Granite Water Tower, and I thought, wow, damn autocorrect.
That's a granite water tower?
Yeah.
Oh, a great water tower. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think they screwed up because they didn't put any ink on there. Wendy is gone. Where did Wendy go? And I ain't never felt like reading instructions, but there's a bunch of them listed on the back here. So maybe that tells me, and I just don't care. If I read instructions on food, who knows how big I'd be right now. Enough with a sitting still train. So, starting next month, the only thing I got left to get is a sheet of plywood to start. Big layout. Anybody got any comments on that? Alright, Benny, see you later.
Bye, Benny.
It's 8 by 14 foot. I'm also saving up to buy, 10 by 17 foot cloth shed to put over it. $300 shed I showed you at Harbor Freight. I believe it's 10 by 17 feet. It's a cloth carport shed from Harbor Freight. It's got a big roll-up door on the one end. It's $300. That's why I love Harbor Freight. Because you can get some really good stuff in there for dirt cheap. They also have a 4 by 8 foot trailer in there for the same price. But everybody else wants to charge $1,200 for one. So I'm going Harbor Freight and getting me the rest of the tools and everything else I need, including the shed that I need to store it all in. Be nice to have a workshop space that I know the weather ain't going to affect it too much. Temperatures might, but rain and snow won't. How in the world does my billboard keep falling down? I'll have to come back with a drill bit and actually glue this thing in, I guess. So nobody got any questions on that 14 by 8 foot layout? It will be an inch scale, but when packed up to go to shows and all, it's going to take up a footprint of 2 foot by 8 foot, about 5 foot tall. I wouldn't mind taking this one to train shows, but quite frankly, I'm out of the loop as to where the closest one would be to me here. And I'm in Southern Illinois, Marion, Illinois. So if anybody knows if there's train shows that visit Carbondale or Marion or Crab Orchard or Murfreesboro, I'm willing to go as far as Cairo, and that's about, what,
There was one
an hour south?
DeQuinn that I seen a while back.
DeQuinn? But that's a 3-hour drive, ain't it? I'm 6 hours south of Chicago.
DeQuinn is just up there where we went to go get the puppy that died.
Oh. Well, heck, if we're still stuck here and they have another one, we'll go up there with this layout, all right?
Later, Randy.
See you, Randy.
And there's also one in St. Louis.
Oh, do you want to spend 3.5 hours in the truck?
St. Louis is only...
It was 3 hours to get there when Trinity was flown there.
2.5 hours.
Oh, okay. That's right, but we spent a half an hour lost driving around the highways.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need gas in the truck though for that.
Well, we're going to St. Louis. Let me get something.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Michigan is a bit of a drive. It's about 6 hours to reach the state line and about 6.5 hours into Madison.
There's one in Tennessee.
Well, that's Wisconsin.
And Kentucky.
Yeah.
And we're only 3 hours from Nashville.
But we gotta wait for you to be healed up. Because you gotta be able to watch the kids while I talk to people and run the trains.
Have you ever been to New Freedom, Pennsylvania?
Yes. I have been in New Freedom, Pennsylvania. And my 3-year-old loves to kick the walls after bed. No, it's not far from Westminster.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
I don't know you a Coke if you didn't complete the sentence.
Shut up.
No, New Freedom is about an hour and 40 minutes north of Westminster, Maryland. Well, northwest.
We'll go to a lot when we get back home.
Yeah, we will.
Which we're
Be going there, Reading, Gettysburg, Littlestown. Yeah, it is. Gettysburg ain't.
Yes, it is. Gettysburg is a nice little town.
It's not a train town.
Oh.
It's a good historical town, and a lot of people like to go there for the history. But
have you ever been on the train in Freedom?
no, I've not been on the train in New Freedom. I have not also been anywhere near Stratusburg. But I am on the volunteer list at a small little railroad called the Walkersville Southern in Walkersville, Maryland. I go down there and do track labor when I'm back home. Unfortunately, I've been stuck out here for about 3 years now.
Okay.
Yep.
When I get healed.
When she gets healed up enough that she could take care of the kids for 12 hours a day for 3 days straight, yeah.
What?
Train shows go from Friday till Sunday.
We'll get it when we only go into one day.
I don't know if you can sign up to show a layout for 1 day. It also costs $25 to show a layout in most places.
We ain't gonna have the money to go and stay in a hotel.
Let's sleep in the truck.
I'm definitely have to be really, really well healthy.
We'll take the tent with us. You also got to remember, tip jar makes a lot of money too, especially a train truck.
They're gonna pay for a hotel room.
Think about it. If I take this, I could put on the front of it, as seen on YouTube.
I gotta finish the backboard first.
Yeah, you do need to finish painting that. Would anybody like me to lift up the backdrop and put it up on the back just to show you what it looks like now? It's actually sitting behind the layout. It wouldn't take me nothing but to lift it up. All right. I won't be able to read nothing. You read and speak. I gotta get this thing all the way down and all the way up.
Don't break the layout.
I'm not trying to break the layout, but I'm also not trying to break the board. There we go. Sorry about the bouncing, everybody. This is a little bit more difficult than I first imagined.
BNSF Bob says most of the ones around here are one-day shows, usually no shorter show layouts.
Babe, think you can stand up and rotate the camera? I'll hold this up here. Everybody got a good view? This is getting heavy. And turn back the other way. All right, I'm putting this back down. That's a little heavy holding my spot.
It's very cool. I like it. How did you make it?
We have videos on it. What was that, 3 months ago we did the videos on it?
I think 2 months ago that I started painting it. 2.5 months ago, I think I started painting it.
It's further back than that, babe, because that's been sitting back here since we rearranged the bedroom, and that was 2 months ago.
But we rearranged the bedroom just before my surgery, and my surgery's only been a month. Not even yet.
At the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And that was done before we rearranged the bedroom. I think it was January's videos.
February's.
January or February's. But what I do is I try to block and do a month on a single topic, if I can. I was a week short on resin car kits, if y'all remember this one. I just posted the last video yesterday when it was supposed to go up Sunday. I'll scoot back so that you can scoot up. Oh, it's not finished. She's still got some hills and all to do on the other side, and we just haven't put it up yet because it's not finished.
Yeah, my back got really bad, and I end up having to have surgery, so it's got to wait until after I recuperate from my surgery to be able to finish the rest of it.
And now it's kind of stuck hanging back here, so I'm hoping it doesn't drop in the middle of the night and startle us all. It's 1/8 of an inch Masonite hardboard. Try to. Sometimes we don't see eye to eye on every process, but we try to work as a team.
Well, husband and wife, who does?
Yeah. That's 1/8 of an inch Masonite plywood that's been painted. On the back of it, I have 1x2 stringers going up on splitting it into thirds and going up. And then on the bottom, I have just two 1x2 scrap blocks, so that way I've got limits. When I put it up, I can actually clamp it to the layout and screw it to the layout, because I know the limits will keep it from going up too high.
Jay's on.
Hey, Jeff.
He says, "Hi, looking good." Thanks. I don't know who you're talking to, him or me.
I don't know if that's the layout or what. You can't even see you on the camera if you ain't looking.
I know, I was just making a joke.
Why don't I pull you my way?
No.
I know if I pull you my way now, you just back's liable to split in half, and then I'm gonna be sitting here holding half of you and getting the other half to the hospital.
So only half of me gets to the hospital?
Yeah, the lower half. That's the half I need.
All good, see it or not.
I don't know. She tilted the camera so we can't see it.
I tilted it back, but it's being photo kitty. There it goes.
It's all good, see it or not. Okay. And I usually have her on the bed reading these things off to me. So. Oh, Soul Brain on here?
Mm-hmm. I thought you'd seen that. You'd been talking to him. Of course, you don't pay attention.
No, I didn't think he had just an S for the name. I thought he had a picture of his layout. Oh, man. Brain fart. Sorry, Soul Brain.
Oh, at least you ain't doing what I did yesterday, and don't you dare tell him.
No, I got to because
Nope.
you said that.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Yes.
No. Focus on the trains.
Okay.
No.
You gotta let me tell the story now because you're the one that mentioned it.
Nope.
I'm not the only one that derails in this house. I'll just leave it at that until she goes to lay down. Then I can tell you what actually happened.
You're gonna make me stand here, aren't you? And I don't have my brace on, and I'm not allowed to be
Well, go
standing
get
here.
your brace on.
No, I'll walk away. You're gonna tell him.
I ain't gonna tell them. You can go get your brace on.
Okay,
Scout's
for
honor.
sure. You weren't in the Scouts, and that's the wrong signal.
I promise I won't tell him.
Yeah, with your fingers crossed.
Of course.
Like I really believe you.
Do you love me?
Yes, I do. But
Then you
sometimes
tell
I
him.
want to strangle you.
Then you tell him.
No, I ain't gonna tell him my stupidity.
Why not? It makes my little brain fart seem like nothing. Your brain don't fart. It just craps itself.
No, mine just went on vacation yesterday.
Vacation? Heck, it was in Tahiti for a month.
That's what I get for being married to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyways, we got in the truck. She asked me where her phone was. I turned around. She got her phone sitting right there in her hand, just like it is right there. And I go, "It's in your hand, babe."
Thanks.
I've done the same thing. I don't think there's a person on the planet that ain't done that.
Well, it was bad as I was just looking at it just before I went looking for it.
Yeah. He was actually looking at it while he was looking for it.
I wasn't gonna tell him that part.
I've done that. Remember that I was sitting out
Well,
in
at
the living
least
room and I
like
was
your
watching
mom, when she
YouTube?
was talking on the phone looking for, when I was talking to my mom on the phone looking for my phone.
Yeah. You remember that last time I was out there on YouTube? I was watching YouTube on my phone on the tripod. I'm starting to reach around beside me and looking all over the place. And you go, What are you looking for? I go, my phone. She goes, right in front of you. I'm watching YouTube on my phone, and I can't find my phone.
He can't find his brain either.
No, that thing's been lost for years. Why do you think I model train so much?
Ow.
Why don't you go lay down since you don't have your brakes on?
I'm going.
All right, go. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna call this a night. All right. It's nice to hang out with you guys every week like this. Anytime you need me, you can get a hold of me on Facebook if you have any model train questions or otherwise. I'm always willing to help out anybody in the model train community. And I know if anybody's going to nitpick about the train, I've got a tanker running right behind the switcher. But short hauls, that's actually allowed, especially if the tanker's empty. If the tanker was full of a combustible liquid, it would have to have an idler car. So if you're out there trying to model large trains of vegetable oil, you don't need an idler car. If you're trying to model long trains of crude oil, you need an idler car. Other than that,
there he is.
That's it for tonight. Everybody have a good one. I'll see you on the flip-flop or later or whatever.
What?
You can go ahead and watch this back later if you want to.
I'm ready to leave here to go get you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Okay, I will.